right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. And looks like we are live. Just checking everything here. Yeah, looks like we're good to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and intro us real quick. Welcome back to another episode. This is number 26. And we have quite a lot of recapping and whatnot. But before we get into all of that stuff, just wanted to quickly say to social media, we are over on the new Blue Sky platform now, which is a social media platform that's set up for more open discussion from what I've gathered. But there a lot of creators gather there. So if you want to, you can join us over there, and I'll actually I'll pop that link up in the bottom there so that you can see that. See if I can add a banner for that. For the listeners,
I can pin it in the chat if you want me to.
Wait, did I get it? Got it. Ha! I had to find it. Actually, you don't even need all that. Really, you just need this first part. Hang on. Let's do this way. There we go. That's better. I was like, that other link has a bunch of nonsense on it. So there we go. Now we're back. So okay. So anyways, that's all the fun stuff I have. All the housekeeping stuff that I have. So I guess before we kick off, I don't know if we wanted to cover this at the beginning or at the end, but the scandal, the new scandal that a lot is coming out about today. A lot of people asked us if we were going to cover that. I had a few people message, and I was like, well, yeah, it's news. Of course, we'll talk about it. But for anyone not aware, there's a new lawsuit. It names Vince, it names Linda, it names TKO. For some ring boys that are alleging abuse from the 1980s to the 1990s by a former WWE ring crew chief, Melvin Phillips Jr. So looks to be pretty new news, but I don't know much beyond that. I haven't read too much into it, but obviously pretty messed up stuff.
Yeah, as I predicted around the time when we covered the documentary a few weeks ago, I'm sure we'll be seeing RICO charges coming eventually. My guess would be around January, seeing that'll be around a year from. I think the lawsuit's paused until December, if I saw that correctly. So they're just trying to add more stuff on. I don't think this is even though it's different than the other stuff, and the stuff we already knew about. It's nothing new. It was covered in the documentary. But we'll see what comes of it. If they end up charging him, or if it just stays in civil. And from what I've heard, he's not in good health. So we'll see if he even lives through it. To be honest.
Yeah, I read somewhere today. I don't remember where I saw this, so I don't know if this is true or not. Let's see. Someone suggested, Janelle Grant's representative addresses possibility of Donald Trump pardoning Vince McMahon. So I'm guessing that may be a rumor. But yeah, I mean, with Linda was a part of the previous administration, so I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if his charges are federal or state, though. So if they're state, Vince's charges.
He's just in civil. He hasn't been charged with anything criminally, I don't believe.
Okay, so from what I remember from... This wasn't my area of expertise, but I think pardons only extend to federal crimes, but not state and civil ones.
State, you would need to have it at the state level done. Like the president cannot pardon state crimes. That's why basically the president cannot pardon Trump for the stuff in the lower district of Manhattan, I believe it was. Because if he was charged in the U.S. district there, they could have, but they can't do that. It would have to be, I don't know exact if it's the Supreme Court or the governor or the Senate in that state, but with civil court, they wouldn't be able to pardon him regardless, because that's all paying fines and restitution to victims. So there's no way you could get pardoned for that. And Vince has plenty of money. He'll be just fine if he has to pay out some victims.
Unless they do a RICO charge, which would be federal, because it would involve multiple states. So then in that case, it could be something that would potentially be pardonable. But obviously, I wanted to bring this up because even though I had this conversation with somebody earlier today briefly, but even though we are a WWE podcast, we don't wash over a lot of this stuff or try to make light of it or anything. It's messed up stuff. Vince is a messed up dude, and if anybody does anything like this, obviously they should be held accountable. So we'll see what happens. I am interested in the fact that the Ring Boy chart scandal named TKO for something that happened in the 80s and 90s, because TKO wouldn't have been aware of that. So, I mean, they may have been aware of it. I don't know. Maybe when they bought the company, someone gave them a heads up, like, this is coming.
Well, here's what I think. I know they've supposedly released Vince and everything. We just had Hell in a Cell. We got brand versus brand now. And look at some of the stuff that's been going on the TV. I think it's just a PR thing that he's out of there, to be honest with you. I still think he's very involved, if you want my honest opinion, based off of the stuff I've seen recently. Like, there's been flashes of him back in like summer and spring with how SmackDown was being run. We were saying it was Bruce Pritchard. The stuff that I've been seeing recently, I'm convinced he might just influence some of Triple H's booking decisions, seeing their family, but I still think he's involved, if you want my honest opinion. Yeah,
and people on the subreddit have said the same thing, and a lot of the live threads, they're like, that's a Vince thing. Like, if you've watched long enough, you know what Vince things are in booking.
Especially with 2-hour Raws, because as anyone other than Bruce and that administration booked 2 hour, like, I know they booked 2 hour SmackDowns and NXT, but has anyone booked a 2-hour Raw? So I would almost think it would be impossible for them not to go ask them how to do it, especially how they fumbled the first week. And the second week, I'm not even going to count, seeing it was a recorded show.
Yep. So that was I would not be surprised if he was somewhat involved. I mean, it would make sense. But so obviously this is going on. It's pretty messed up stuff. And obviously anyone involved hopefully will face some kind of accountability for it, but you never know. Rich people tend to get away with things, so who knows? We'll see.
I don't know. Just I'm a little wary on the. I'm not saying nothing didn't happen and the allegations are false, but I know back with steroid trials and everything, once the federal government doesn't get you, they want to get you for something else. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had her as an implant the whole time, and this could be, she might have tried to persuade Vince to do it like this, and they're leaving it out, and he just followed through and fell in the trap. But I'm curious to see what comes out of it for sure.
That's why I would be very interested to see a full case proceed and just let all the evidence play out, because you can see all that once it's all done with. So it'd be interesting to see what actually exists and what can be proven in a court of law and what's, hearsay and stuff like that. Obviously the Vince texts, if those are factual as they've been reported, those would easily be able to be proven. So, I mean, all this, you never know. That's what's interesting about when cases start getting out there in the public eye. Like, you don't know what's real and what's not real. Vince is a skeezy dude. Like, I can tell.
Businessmen are. He wouldn't get to where he was if he didn't.
Yeah, he's a powerful man. So, that's pretty common among the elites. So, we'll see. Anyways, another piece of news before we kick off into recaps and stuff. Rhea Ripley, new contract through 2029. I think she's going to be I think she'll be a long run one. She'll be a Becky or a Charlotte. I think she's going to be a face of the company for years to come.
Main staple of the women's division, for sure.
Yeah. Samantha Irvin, obviously, departing. Lillian Garcia tapping in. Very, very surprising. But Ricochet did clear this up that she's not coming to AEW. So, as far as he's
believe that.
Yeah, I was about to
she might not be coming there yet.
But she'll be there eventually. Yeah. Delta.
Curious, just quick on that. It's funny you say that. What do you think about this, Chad? So we know Bruce Buffer he's not getting any younger, and they work with UFC, and even though they're under the same Endeavor umbrella, they're two separate entities. Could we see her go to UFC if he retires, so it'll be a lighter schedule on her to pursue her music career? And then she'll come and do, like, say, WrestleMania or something like that when in WWE.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. Also, another point I thought of when you said that is I remember WCW when I was younger, how Michael Buffer used to call a lot of the main events. It would be cool to see Bruce Buffer come over and start calling some WWE, like even like just WrestleMania, bring him in for WrestleMania. Like, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. I would love
They're
to
all
see
in the family.
that.
Yeah, they're all together. So bring it on. So Delta is Zarya now due to some copyright issues, trademark issues from what I've read today. And then the other one, Cody officially has confirmed, not sure how official this is, but he has said that NXT is no longer a developmental brand.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it.
For a while we've been seeing a lot of stuff about how it's kind of been going that way, and I'm fine with NXT being a third brand, but you still need something developmental. So
yeah.
do a reality, if they go back to doing like Tough Enough or something, like make it a reality show or behind the scenes training, like intermix that with in-ring stuff, I'd be fine with that.
Maybe if they I know they aired around WrestleMania time on Roku. It was Next Gen, I believe it was. Maybe they'll do something like that towards developmental. But as you said, they should always keep a level of NXT developmental, because that's valuable. Like, you can't put a price on that training. You're getting real training for the business. Because the WWE business is different than the indies and everything else. You're getting that on the job training while you're live on TV and everything. And one thing I've noticed with NXT is, I don't know if you noticed the same thing, not so much this past Tuesday's episode, but they've been going to almost like not even PG, but just rated G stuff almost, seeing it's on network television, maybe to attract the kids in, and then the kids will grow up with those superstars. So when they are on that level, those will be like the Codys or the Romans of these days coming up, just a marketing tool possibly.
It kind of reminds me when I was younger, I grew up watching Full House. And I went to see, I think I was a teenager, I went to see Bob Saget do stand-up, and he's swearing all over the place. And I'm like, I watched this guy as like America's dad, and now he's doing it. It reminds me of that.
Career evolution.
It's like the kids that know The Rock from Moana, and then he's on TV swearing and final bossing, and they're like, who is this guy?
Story.
Telling stories to F your story.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? But yeah, I think that's all the regular news. Before we get into the main shows, I'll start with the minor shows. So I wanted to pop this up because there's something missing, and I don't know if you'll notice this, but I'm going to show it to you. So this is the new number one contenders bracket for the Speed Championship.
Yep.
Do you notice anyone missing who should be in this bracket?
Let me check my notes. Hold on. Give me a second here. Speed. Oh, I was on last week's notes the week before, I think. So,
anyone overlooked or that you think would fit well with this bracket?
There's
Giovanni
only Vinci. I don't know why he's on the bracket, but see, one thing while we're on this is I don't like how Braun Breaker is facing Sheamus. I know it'll probably go to a 3-minute time limit draw, but why are we getting this match on Speed?
I don't know, because Speed was kind of becoming like the little guys, like the undercard guys. So, all right, are you ready? Are you ready? Because I did an updated card to include who should have been in this bracket. Okay, hang on.
Oh, geez. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years, but I should have known coming from you that it was going to be something about that.
He hasn't had
Zao
a match.
versus Cutler James. Why not?
September 24th was his last match. So the Cutler gang is starting to get pretty disappointed.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I'm sure when the breakout tournament comes around, he'll be in it, because that's coming around within the next few months. I don't remember exactly what month it is, but that's usually around November, December, I believe.
Let's see. NXT breakout tournament.
If they do it this year.
2024. Oh wait, the final was January of 2024.
January, okay. I'm a little ahead of myself then.
Yeah. So, well, no. In the past, the finals are getting later. 2019, the final was in August. Same for 2021. 2022, the final was in June. 2023, it was at Halloween Havoc in October, and then 2024, the final was January for New Year's Evil.
Yeah. It could go even later this year, seeing WrestleManias later this year, because they'll probably do standard deliver the same weekend, I assume.
Yeah, most likely. So, and there's no news or anything about it right now. Like, so I'm guessing it's not a. Wait, what is this? This is the women's. I don't know if this is real or not.
In all fairness, though, I know Cutler hasn't had an actual match since the 24th, but they aired his Level Up one a week ago Saturday, and they weren't able to record the Level Ups. They had to do them all at the same time because they were going on the road to St. Louis and Chicago. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see him on this Friday night's Level Up for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. So it's kind of cool. We timed this perfectly. We have 2 shows for each brand, so our numbers are perfectly even. So the bracket I just showed wasn't technically up to date because the October 16th one is on there, Sheamus defeating Vinci, but the one from the 23rd isn't on there with Dragon Lee defeating Tavion Heights. So that's there. I know we're me and Jason on here. Main event: Sol Ruka defeated Tatum Paxley. It's like his girl beat mine, and then Dragon Lee beat Julius Creed. That's from October 10th. And then October 17th, Brooks Jensen defeated Tavion Heights, and the Street Profits defeated Los Garza. I'm still surprised main event's running with that other show coming. Like, I don't know. It seems like it's going to get confusing for people.
Here's my complaint about main event too. I can't find it airing anywhere. I don't know if it is in another country, and I doubt it because I can't find it on the websites that you can stream it whatever, whenever on. And it doesn't come to Peacock till 3 weeks later. And if that's the first place it's airing, why are we saying like this past week, oh, this Saturday at Bad Blood? Like if it's recorded early, do it up to the times. You could have just skipped a few weeks where you didn't record main event shows, and you could still do it just to get back on track. Because I'm sure Netflix is going to pick it up in January.
Right now on Peacock, the newest main event is October 2nd, 2024.
Yeah.
So like 20 days late. Yeah, but they're not really posting anything about it. Even on the main event section on WWE.com, it's like old.
Yeah. I don't get it. It's like, unless you know about it and make it a point to watch it, and I don't think anyone even knows it exists at this point.
No, I just pull the results from it. Usually I don't even get to watch a lot of these matches. Most of the time I just read the results after they're done or whenever they film them or something like that. So yeah, I'll read the spoilers, but yeah, I mean, they're not on like YouTube. Like I don't know where they're airing it.
Because they were on Hulu the day after before, supposedly, wherever it aired, which I don't know where it did. That's when I would watch it. So I took 2 weeks off because you couldn't get it, and now it's on Peacock. They air it. I think new Saturday's episodes come up because I don't watch it on the Saturday Live, but
yeah,
I'm curious to see what they do with it from here on out. Maybe they'll be ending it in December, like a week or two before Saturday night's main event too. That's another thing.
Or some of them I'll watch, like people that are at the shows will film them. And you can watch them on like Twitter or YouTube. Like I'll see a lot of it, like the dark matches I'll watch sometimes because those are usually fun. So that's usually the only place you can really see them.
Yeah, I do that for the house shows sometimes. I think I've sent some links in the chat a few times back when they were in Mexico there when Stephanie Vaquer debuted and that stuff. But that's usually the only stuff. Like I know when the holiday tour comes around in December, I'll definitely watch some matches from that because like we had Dom Mysterio and CM Punk last year. There was some street fights on there that were covered, and there's usually good stuff on the holiday tour.
Yeah, we went to one. Gosh, it's been years. I can't remember last time a holiday tour come through here, and I don't think they're coming anywhere near this year. But those are usually fun too.
Probably Orlando's closest to you would be my guess.
Yeah, I'll need a vacation. That'll work. So Level Up, October 11th. Tatum Paxley came back and finally got a win. Defeated Kaylee Armstrong. Gallus defeated Cutler James and Shiloh Hill. I think that was taped September 24th. If I remember on Cage Match, that was that when I saw that match pop up. So that's what that was. And then October 18th, Tyson and Tyreek defeated Nico Vance and Harlem Lewis. Laney Reed defeated Layla Diggs, and Tavion Heights defeated Malik Blade. Oh, that's what I forgot because you like TNA. Before I get sidetracked, we have to talk about our friend Joe Hendry real quick. Did you see a big
match on Saturday?
Did you see what he said? Who he wanted his opponent to be if he wins the TNA title?
No, was it on the show?
I don't remember where. I think I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, it could have been on their socials.
He wants to face John Cena. He wants him to cross the line.
Oh man, I was gonna say I'd make it a Royal Rumble match. I'm cool with that. Do something like that, or even War Games. Seeing the doing inner brand, that would definitely get some eyes on it.
I think if he wins it, he'll keep it through the Rumble because they'll probably want him to show up at the Rumble with the belt because he's going to be in it. I mean,
yeah, he already spoiled it on X. I saw that post that he made when he said to some fan, I believe this isn't going to age well or something like that.
Yep. That was funny. So I'm pretty sure that as over as he is, he's gonna win. It's Saturday, isn't it?
Yes, Bound for Glory Saturday.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna win. So I'm ready. He's going to be an awesome champion. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
So imagine the songs he will sing. Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
My question is though, do we have a Nick Nemeth heel turn out of this? seeing they're both faces. Maybe even something happening tonight on Impact. I doubt they do it tonight. They probably wait till the show, especially with JBL being involved recently. Maybe even they don't give it to him at Bound for Glory. And wasn't there a Scotland show coming up soon, I believe? Also,
yeah, and you'll have to have a heel turn. And I'm pretty sure the best way for them to do it will be after the match. After he wins, just beat the crap out of him. Like, Dolph's naturally a better heel anyway, so...
They have Frankie Kazarian as a special guest referee now, so maybe even they could do a backdoor deal with him or something like that also.
Let's see. That would be TNA Bound for Glory 2024. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put that on my to-watch list because I don't think there's anything else going. Because we have, I know NXT has one coming up, and then we have
Sunday. Yep, Halloween
Sunday.
Yep.
And then we have Crown Jewel. So, yeah.
Not looking so hot for Crown Jewel so far. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, really, has there ever been one that, like, you would be excited about? I can't remember a time that the only thing I liked about them was that they were during the day.
I liked last year's. Last year's I thought was a great show with, I know Solo and John Cena were on it. I believe we had LA Knight and Roman Reigns. I thought last year was pretty good. Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio. I can't remember. Those were some of the matches. I don't remember the rest of them. But I thought Crown Jewel was pretty good last year, to be honest with you.
I am hoping that Halloween Havoc will be. I mean, it's going to be cool because it's not like a performance center show. It's it's in Hershey, I think.
Hershey,
I don't know what venue they're at, but it's in Hershey. So I'm hoping they'll have like some good decor. Like, it'll be just a really cool theme because they're doing those spin the wheel, make the deal matches. An ambulance match. So I'm really excited to see what comes of it. And we can talk about that when we go to NXT and kind of preview some stuff over there. Yeah, might as well. We're already on the subject. So over on NXT, I'll recap these real quick. Going back to October 15th, Stephanie Vacour defeated Ren Sinclair. In the gentleman's duel, Lexis King defeated Oro Mensah. Nikita Lyons in her glad she's back. Defeated Lola Vice. That match. Okay. Anyways, Ridge Holland defeated Riley Osborne. Brooks Jensen defeated Ashanti the Adonis. And then the number one contender for the NXT Championship, Ethan Page, defeated Wes Lee and Javon Evans. Before we move along, thoughts on Nikita Lyons' return? I've been seeing kind of mixed opinions about it.
It's the one thing that matters for her is just, can she stay healthy? Look at how many injuries she's had, and she'd probably be on the main roster by now. She could just stay healthy. So I'm sure if she can stay healthy from now until draft time, which will probably be late. I'll say late April because they like to do it around the NFL draft. But seeing WrestleManias later, they might push it back. But she's got to stay healthy. So if she comes down with another injury, I wouldn't even be surprised if they don't renew her contract.
And I mean, the Ethan Page match, I'm pretty sure that was as everybody expected. I didn't see either Wesley or Javon Evans walking out number one contender. So it is to be expected that was the way that was going to go.
Yeah, see, we talk about Vince stuff too. How many times have we seen these guys play? They're even playing hot potato with the belt sort of at the moment too. And I personally would like to see Wesley. Yeah, I would have liked to see Wesley versus Trick. It's not something we've really seen yet. And I know they teased the Javon Evans one in the next episode. We'll go probably Wesley versus Javon, but I'd much rather see that, to be honest with you. Imagine putting the two of them in, like, say, a ladder match or table ladders and stairs match. I don't know. I don't need to see Ethan Page versus Trick again. I've seen it enough times already.
Yeah, I mean, it's done and over with. But yeah, hot potato. I noticed that on Raw with the IC title as well. It's like, okay, it's interesting. So it's either they go one of two ways. They either keep the belt on someone forever or they switch it back and forth. There's never like a middle ground, it seems.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Raw, but I'm not. That's why when we originally did the preview, I know you guys, I think you and Jason both predicted Jey Uso to win. I said I don't see it because I didn't think they would do token championship runs, but I guess we'll see how often they do it, or if this was just a one-off thing.
So the following NXT October 22nd, Damage Control versus the Metaphor went to a no contest. Jada Parker defeated Tatum Paxley. Obafemi defeated Luca. Sol Ruca defeated Carmen Petrovic. I'm sure Jason is quite excited that she's been racking those wins up. Hank and Tank defeated OTM, and then Julia and Stephanie Vacour defeated Fatal Influence. I really like seeing them team together. That was surprising to me that they would book that so soon, I think.
Yeah, they could be booking it so soon though too, because both of these women could be up on the main roster and not that long.
Easily.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. And another thing too is I don't know where the hell Gigi Dolan is, but this is basically a ripoff of Toxic Attraction, Fatal Influence. So if you had her team with the two of them for a 6-woman tag match, we should do it, because I know they do a lot. They've been doing a lot of matches on NXT recently, so why not do that to switch it up a little bit?
I was thinking the same thing. It's like it's just a different name, but yeah, it's the same gimmick. Yep. I thought that the other day. But yeah, it's been cool. And this is one of the reasons you need a developmental brand. It's one of the reasons I like watching these matches. For one, the NXT women's division is like the best in WWE, but also I like seeing where these people are going to end up. Because like I can watch a lot of these matches and I can tell you there's a lot of these women who are like main roster bound. Like the next draft, I think could be really good for the women, especially because there's so many talented ones in NXT.
Yeah, Soruka will definitely be on the main roster as long as she stays healthy once again in April, because she's been on TNA, I believe, at least 3 times in the past month. I know Wendy they've almost made her and Rosemary on both TNA and NXT every week. So I'm curious to see if they sign Rosemary or they just keep bouncing them between the two shows. And one other thing, while we're talking about women getting called up, what do you think about the Meta Girls or the women of Metaphor? They're featuring them on they're getting the beat done treatment, featuring them on each show each week. Do you think they're going to call them up?
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking about that whenever we get to that, because they're definitely bound that way. They're definitely heading that way. And I think bringing Damage Control down to compete with them is kind of showing people that they're ready for the main roster and that they're going to be moved up soon. So I think that's definitely it's legitimizing them by giving them legit competitors to show other people like, hey, I could see them on the main roster. And Io and Kyrie are some of the best to do it. So they're definitely showing their skills. That's for sure.
Honestly, Io might be the best women's wrestler they have. In all honesty, the tag division has definitely gotten better with her in it. And personally, myself, I think Lash Legend is further ahead than Jade Cargill as well. Yeah. So I know they're not going to call them up till draft time. This is just a feel of what they're doing now. But if they do, I hope they call up Noam Dar and Ora Mensa along with them, even if they have to give them a new gimmick or break them off.
I always like Noam Dar, though. I mean, even like the cruiserweight era and him with Alicia Fox, like he's an entertaining dude. Like I like him. I wouldn't mind seeing him up on the main roster. They fumbled a lot of these good cruiserweight dudes back then, though. I mean, like TJ Perkins, I loved him. I was a big fan of him. Would have loved to see him up on the main roster. Brian Kendrick, they kind of fumbled him as well. I was a regular watcher of 205 Live. I don't know. Obviously, it's not around anymore. So not a lot of people watched it, but I was a big fan of that show. And the Cruiserweight title in general.
One thing with Noam, too, when they had, I think, Metaphor, I don't know if they hosted Stand and Deliver or some other shows this year. I thought he did a phenomenal job when he was hosting it. Yeah. Commentary that he did. And he's just a good leader, and he's good on the mic for sure.
On the commentary thing, I read today about Michael Cole going to Netflix Raw as can be predicted, and then I've been reading a bunch of different rumors about that. It's really interesting. Like some are saying, yeah, it's going to be 2 hours. That's definitely happening. And then I've been reading some other rumors, and people are like, no, they want to leave it open ended, which I think Jason mentioned on our last show, to where if it needs to go longer, it can, but it doesn't have to. So still a lot of stuff floating around about that right now.
Yeah, I think it's basically just going to be a soft time slot, and I think we might even, if it's a real big Raw, like say it's like day one with like the first episode or
run it like
that.
A pay-per-view length.
Yeah, we could have a 3.5, maybe even a 4-hour Raw, but some weeks I wouldn't be surprised if it's even under 2 hours. I just don't think there's going to be a set time, to be honest with you.
And that's good because that gives them creativity to where they're not like messing with times they got to be done and stuff like that. Like I would love to be a writer and have that kind of flexibility so that maybe some more storylines don't pan out, or some of the matches go a little bit shorter, like let's call it early, cool. Or, storylines are going well, or they can call something on the fly. Like, if there's some kind of reaction to the crowd or a crowd chant or something like that, they can add a match and it not be the end of the world. So being open-ended, is a blessing, I think, if they do it that way.
Yeah, no, and then I don't know. We'll see what happens with SmackDown if they end up going to 3 hours or not, because we've seen dual reporting about that too. But I think they're more on the end to have it go 3 hours. And I'm curious to see too if they stick with this G-rated NXT stuff too going forward. It's going to be very interesting how the landscape is in January or even into the spring compared to what it is now.
Yep, exactly. So we will venture over to the land of the Raw. A lot of big developments and matches, and Raw has been quite solid lately. So October 14th, we have a women's tag team championship match. Bianca and Jade defeated Damage Control to keep their titles, as expected. A number one contender for the World Tag Team Tournament. That would be round one. The War Raiders defeated Alpha Academy. Braun Breaker defeated Kofi Kingston. R-Truth defeated The Miz. And then Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeated Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton in a no contest match. And then a lot of this spilling over to the next week. I love continuity of stories. October 21st, more tag team tournaments. The New Day defeating AOP. Later on, the LWO defeated American Made. And then some other matches in there. Liv and Raquel defeated Damage Control. And the big one, Braun Breaker defeated Jey Uso to get the IC title back for some reason.
Yeah, we'll start off with the first Raw, I guess. One thing I noticed was get another. I didn't remember who it was, but this was a tape show. I don't like tape shows. I didn't think this was great. A lot of filler content, but we had another Wyatt family member. I don't remember who it was offhand in the back of a Judgment Day promo. I know they start off with the Final Testament feud. I'm curious when we're going to get this Judgment Day Wyatt 6 feud, because it's going to be coming. They usually a couple months in advance will start doing stuff in the back. So I'm curious to see what time they do that around, whether it be Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, who knows.
Yeah, and they need a legit feud against someone powerful to legitimize them, because, okay, so Chad Gable, I'm not to say he's a jobber at all, but like he's running around with jobbers. So like crushing American Made or Alpha Academy, like no one's going to take it seriously, because the characters in those stables have been treated as jobbers. Like they don't have any legitimate presence. The Wyatt Six needs someone like Judgment Day, or even Final Testament. Like AOP is a tremendous team. Like they need a legit competition to actually look dominant, and not that they're being like fed people like Braun Strowman was for so long. And feuding with like, The Miz or something like that. Sure, that's fine. But Judgment Day, that's where they need to go. That's the feud they need.
I don't like either that they're going to the Final Testament, because I like Karrion Kross. I think he was actually booked a little bit better under Vince, to be honest with you, than Triple H. But I think I don't like that they're going up against this the Wyatt Six group, because let's be honest here. Do we see the Final Testament getting a pin on these guys at all and getting anything out of this? Are they just going to get buried even more? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Miz stuff. And is Paul Ellering off of TV after taking the Mandible Claw too? Like, I don't know. I'm curious to see where this goes, but I don't have too high hopes for it. And getting back to Chad Gable, as you said, not Chad Gable, but American Made. I think Brutus Creed's new character sucks. They need to change that. That stupid laugh at just the way he's acting. It's not something that I find entertaining, and I quite frankly find it stupid, if you want me to be honest.
Yeah. Yep. I know. I've been a Chad Gable apologist though for a long time, and I've wanted so much more for him, and I think he just keeps getting packaged with the wrong people. Like, American Made. I think there's still potential there, but I really want to see Chad Gable have a strong singles run. Like he deserves it. He's good enough for it. It's time.
Hey, at least you got rid of Shorty G. That's a big accomplishment.
I like the Shorty G and Happy Corbin era. Like,
that shit's crazy. I can't. Looking back on that now, it's like, holy crap, man! What were you doing?
And he tried to claim it and like run with it, like no shame, but it was just such poor storylines. And oh man, there's not much you can do to make that work. So God bless him. He did his best with it, but there's not much you can do there, buddy.
Yeah. No, I hope they pick up some momentum because they need it. I don't think like that first feud that they had with the White Six, because I thought they should have got momentum out of the gate. I know he's signed at a contract long term, so they can still build them up, but I just think they could be used better. That's just my personal opinion, though.
No, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's the truth. So I've been trying to make sense of why Braun Breaker would get the title back. But I guess, later when we spill over to SmackDown and kind of talk about it some, they're starting to have some mingling, on Raw as well with the Usos again, Roman trying to talk to Jay and stuff like that. The only reason I can think they took the title off of them is because, as they're being called now, the OG bloodline is coming together. And that's really the only reason I can think of.
So I think this is terrible, and I know I've talked about it in the past. I think they care about what Rikishi says on his podcast, because he was complaining about Jay not getting a championship for months, and this was clearly a championship, a token championship run, and I think it was honestly too. I think it was a lazy way to get this War Games stuff going, because we have Jey Uso randomly pop up on SmackDown with no announcement and nothing. I didn't want to see that. I thought we should start this even earlier and have them cost him to get that chance to get the title, then have Jimmy come out and save him, and that could be the way you reunited him. Instead, he just randomly pops up and he says we need him. I'm not too big on the way we're going about this.
I think they're trying to rush the story because they know people want it and they're trying to rush it. They slow burned that bloodline story with Roman and Cody for like ever. But this one, it's like they're trying to cram it into like a month. And it's just, it could be so much better.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then with Braun Breaker, too, that's why I brought up the thing about the speed thing. Him versus Sheamus. I don't see him losing that IC title until WrestleMania against someone like Sheamus, because that would be a perfect place to have him get the Grand Slam championship. So, I don't know. We'll see what comes of it. And another thing is, too, is I've heard some people predict, and I know you think John Cena is going to win the Royal Rumble, but I think they need to build him up more before he can get to that level, and they're going to have to be able to use him for a whole year. So maybe another thing is, too, is how they teased the Gunther thing. Maybe we see Braun Breaker drop the IC title around day one or New Year's Revolution, something like that, and we have him win the Royal Rumble and challenge Gunther. We could see that, too.
Or he'll win Money in the Bank. I'm pretty sure he'll get something, though. Like it's gonna be something. Royal Rumble would be great, but Money in the Bank would be cool too. When was his last Money in the Bank match? Let's see.
Who, Braun's?
No, John Cena's.
Oh, John. Oh, you're talking about John Cena.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I didn't know Braun had done one. I don't know if we could give John Cena Money in the Bank. I think if you build him up properly, I think you can give him that title it would be close to WrestleMania, maybe even after, if you do a Payback or whatever they're gonna do, Backlash. I'm sorry, maybe even something around there you could build it up to too. But if you get him like a stamped win at WrestleMania, I think you'd give it to him before then, so that way he doesn't have to just drop the title, say I'm leaving, and he can actually drop it to someone and put him over at the end.
Yeah, let's see. John Cena, last one he won, it's looking like 2012, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That was a little after him and Punk were feuding, I believe, for the WWE Championship, if I remember correctly. That's when Punk they played the thing off like Punk left the company with the belt, and then Cena won, and then Punk came back out with it, if I remember correctly.
See, that one, this one in 2012 was John Cena, Big Show, Chris Jericho, Kane, and The Miz.
Yeah. That's looking back on it now, that's a hell of a match.
I know. And yeah, so it's been a little while. Other than that, I mean, he's going to win something. It'll be the Rumble or it'll be Money in the Bank. I'm casting my prediction. I'm putting it out in the world. It's going to happen. Maybe because I'm a big John Cena fan, but and people will not be happy. Whichever
what about
one
the
it
Elimination Chamber? Can't count that out either.
Yeah, I could see that. And I think it'll be the World Heavyweight Championship that he's going to win. I feel like that's going to be the one he gets. I don't know why, but I feel like that's something that he would be interested in because he's already had the other one quite a lot. Why not give him this one? It'll put more prestige on that title anyway. So
another thing,
the one that beats Gunther.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. I just forgot what I was going to say about him, but if it comes back to me, I'll say it. It's
hard because you can't see him, so it easily slips the mind sometimes.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Do we think John Cena comes back at Crown Jewel, because that's when he went off into the sunset against Solo last year? So, and we know he should be coming back soon, seeing he's got that final year, and I don't think they should wait till to the new year. I think he comes back at all in a few weeks.
I don't know, because like the vibe I was getting when he was doing pitching his comeback tour was like it was going to be a full year in 2025.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't know. Let's see if there's anything new. Actually, I hear something from 2 days ago. I believe the official retirement tour is going to start on January 6th on Netflix. That's from Bill Apter.
Not January 6th at the Capitol. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
That's what I thought of when you said that.
Oh,
that's interesting.
But this says he said he also heard that John Cena could return on Saturday night's main event on December 14th because they're going to load that show with all the top guys. So between December and January, it looks like is what this rumor is saying. So, but again, you never know. So.
Well, we're talking about that too, because I know they've talked about the Cody Randy. I think that's going to get pushed way back. I know Kevin Owens just re-signed with WWE too, which is good news. But do you think Solo Sikoa is going to go over to the OG Bloodline, seeing he pushed Jay out of the way, and I believe he took the super kick from Braun Breaker the other night, and it was Jacob Fatu that put him down.
The only way I would be okay with that is if Jacob takes over the new Bloodline.
Yep.
And then I would probably be more of a fan of that Bloodline than with Solo in it.
Because I'm thinking, I know a lot of people have been saying that I've been hearing, like content creators and people online, but I personally think they wouldn't do something like that so soon, and they'd wait till War Games. Like that was because that was a big thing when Sammy gave KO the low blow. Do we see Solo take the pin maybe at War Games? Then after that, because I thought Cody's world was going to come crashing in on him, the Solo's world come crashing in on him then possibly.
Yep. So So one thing that I really like about this story is that there's so many different ways they can do it. The main thing that I hope that comes out of all this is that Jacob Fatu gets elevated. Out of everyone involved in any of this, he's the one that I think has the most potential, and I really want to see him get elevated. The Tongans will probably get reduced to mid-card tag teams after this, but Jacob Fatu has star potential. Like he's got that it factor, and I really want to see him elevated.
Yeah. What did you think about the stare-off between Braun and Jacob? I wasn't a fan of it at first because I'm like, don't even tease that match yet. That's something way down the line. But they did it good because Jacob helped him with the championship back, so they're not going to have smoke right now.
Yeah, don't do it yet. Just push that off for now. Give us Bloodline stuff for now, but I don't know. I don't want them to screw this up. Like, I really don't want this to be screwed up because this has been one of the best storylines that WWE has done in recent memory. And like, I don't want it to conclude too fast. I want it to be done like the right way. So I have my fingers crossed that it'll drag out for a while. Not several years, but a year. I'd be fine with a year.
Yeah, because this has been top 3 storylines in my lifetime of wrestling that I've seen. My other favorite ones were the Immortal and TNA, and then you got back in the day when Randy Orton was doing the Legend Killer punt to the whole McMahon family, Shane, Vince, Triple H. He even punted Stephanie in the head. Like that was one thing when I was a kid that really got me into wrestling. That whole storyline.
And say what you will about Roman Reigns, and a lot of people got burned out on him. They said he was pushed down our throats by Vince too much. They got tired of the big dog era. No one has rebranded themselves in that way since Hollywood Hogan in WCW to go from a face to a monster heel and it be this big. And I would argue that this was way bigger than Hollywood Hogan in WCW.
Yeah, my first really introduction to Hulk Hogan wrestling was the Immortal Faction, so I only know based off what I've seen, like off the replays and stuff. But
Yeah.
It's funny you talk about this Roman Reigns reinventing his character, because I really don't like this babyface Roman Reigns stuff that's going on right now. I'm not gonna lie, I actually am more entertained by Solo as the tribal chief right now, because I like the heel stuff he's doing. He's getting more of a personality, and I can see his character developing. But I'm just personally more of a heel Roman Reigns guy. But that's just me. I'm still gonna give it some time before I make an official opinion on that.
I think Reigns is going to start doing heel stuff, but I think now with this recent turn, I think he's going to end up in that tweener role that like Brock was in, where he can do heel stuff and still be over as a face. I think he had the good run as a heel for so long, but I think he's going to be a tweener from now on is what I could see happening.
Because I didn't like when he's like, oh, let's acknowledge Big Jim. I felt like it was the CM Punk where he said the Taylor Swift for men stuff, and when we're building up to a Hell in a Cell match, like there's no need for it. We need to get this going, get the fire under it.
Yeah. It was weird hearing him tell Jay that he was proud of him. I was like, that's out of character. I mean,
yeah, that's why I'm not digging this. That's not the quality of a tribal chief to me. Like, yeah, you give him some recognition and some credit, but you're gonna get taken advantage of. You're gonna get what's happening to Cody.
Yep. I don't want him to become like go back. I don't want him to become a face and start like, so when Brock was, like a tweener, like he would do goofy stuff and it's funny, like, but his goofy stuff was like dangerous, like driving a tractor in and lifting the ring up was freaking hilarious, but it was dangerous. Like that was something a heel does. That's what Roman needs to be doing. It's just crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, I would love to see that, but I'm sure the storyline, as you just said, it ain't ending anytime soon, so we'll see how it plays out.
So since we're on SmackDown, other than the Roman stuff, there is some things here. We have LA Knight defeating Carmelo to retain the titles from October 11th. Bianca and Jade defeating Metaphor, which we talked about earlier. Naomi defeating Nia Jax. Solo Sikoa defeating Jimmy Uso. On the Nia Jax subject, there's been some rumors about her joining the Bloodline. So I'm hoping that something will happen with that as well.
Yeah, which Bloodline though? Because I haven't seen these. Is it Solos or the OG one?
There was a video I watched. I think it was Solo.
Yeah, because I couldn't see her. That was a stupid question for me to ask. Actually, seeing how big of a heel she is, I can't see her turning babyface anytime soon. But I don't know. I'm gonna believe that one when I see it, because we've heard the rumors, I believe, about Naomi in the past too. I'm not saying that they won't do it, but I think that could be way down the road, like maybe 6 months from now or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that was the first one. Then October 18th, the most recent one. This is I'm really excited. So the number one contenders match, DIY defeated the Street Profits, and then Motor City Machine Guns defeated A-Town Down Under and Los Garza. Oh, Pretty Deadly was in that first match too. Lash Legend defeated Piper Niven. I am so beyond stoked for DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. Like, I am so freaking pumped.
Yeah, that's going to be one hell of a match, and I assume you feel the same way. I wasn't, obviously, not a lot of people knew who the Motor City Machine Guns were looked like in the crowd, because they didn't get much of a pop. And the other thing, I know you saw it too, and I'm not the only one who feels the way about this. A lot of people are not happy with it. They had them sign the contracts on X. Like, what are we doing? Like, I know you teased it, but you never really mentioned him by name, and you're just going to put it out on X. Like, I'm not a big fan of that.
Weird. Like, it was just weird. Like they were teased. We knew they were coming up. I thought they would be in NXT, but then just like that video just randomly popped out and they're like, hey, they're here signing this and they're going to be on the show later. Like, it was a really anticlimactic debut, because I think that video came out like a few hours before SmackDown, if I remember. And it was so anticlimactic.
Yeah, because I'm not on X, but I have a ton of friends that send me a ton of links on there. And when he sent that to me, I'm like, this is actually from the WWE account, and it was. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But another thing about that too, while we're on this, do you think the Motor City Machine Guns get the championships off the Bloodline, and possibly Jay and maybe Sammy or Jimmy or maybe even Roman, they cost them the tag team championships, seeing they cost Jay the IC title?
I'm pretty sure that Motor City Machine Guns are going to get the tag title because I think WWE is going to want to legitimize them as a force like fast. And I think them beating DIY for one will be good because DIY is a pretty legendary tag team amongst people who enjoy tag team wrestling. But beating the Bloodline, I mean, that'll be awesome. But yeah, I mean, I think interference would be cool because it would set up a feud and give them some competitors to face off against. So I'm pretty excited about it. A lot of good tag teams on SmackDown though, so it's kind of cool that they can actually have these tournaments again. Because I remember we went through that drought forever where we had like no tag teams, so it's nice to see it again.
Well, that had a lot to do with the guy who was running it. He thought the same about women's wrestling they did about tag team wrestling. That's
and tag teams were always splitting up, like that was always the inevitable thing. So.
And then they get right back together after the big match for the feud between the two of them.
Because one of the members will be attacked by someone, and the other tag team guy feels bad and is like, "Okay, I got to go defend my friend." And yeah, it was so predictable for so long.
Yeah, but I like what they're doing with the tag division, putting the emphasis on. I'm sure we're going to get the Lucha Brothers. It's just a matter of time. I know Tony's over there holding the contracts and making sure they don't hit television, but we'll see them soon.
Yeah, it's coming. And then, as we've said before, just hope they don't get just thrown into the LWO or something.
Yeah, I don't think they will, because with Legado del Fantasma, they just re-signed Berto and Angel. So and really the LWO, how many of these guys are we seeing really featured on TV now? Recently, it's just looked like they've been separate almost, like the actual LWO tag team, Cruz and Joaquin. They've been doing their own thing, and then it's just been Zelina, Dragon Lee, and Ray together for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, and on that, on that subject, like Zelina Vega, she's one of the ones I've said for a long time that they've slept on. Since July, she's only had 4 matches.
Yeah, probably 2 against Liv Morgan.
September 2nd, she was beat by Shayna Baszler. September 9th, she won that match against the Pure Fusion, whatever.
Yeah.
September 27th, she was in a dark match where she was defeated by Liv Morgan for the women's world title. So she actually competed for a title, but it was a dark match. And then, October 7th, that match with everyone against everyone. So, yeah.
Because I believe they had her go against on Raw against Liv for the title when Jason went to the show here in Boston for Raw.
Yeah,
too.
July.
So they must have
July
been having them work together.
TD Garden. Yep, that one. Yep. So it's nice that she's getting into all these matches, but like she's one I feel that, she needs a title. That's why a lot of us have been saying forever they need those women's mid-card titles, because she's one that would be perfect to have one.
I think they are seeing them applied for the trademark supposedly, because I don't think that speed title, because they applied for multiple. I think we're going to see that in January once the once they get more allotted time on the TVs. And then another thing too is I'd love to see Malachi, and I know you want the House of Black to come over too. I know Buddy Matthews just re-signed with them, but what they're doing with the House of Black over there sucks. Like, just doing nothing good with them. Have them come over.
Yeah, I was a big fan when he was in WWE before. Like, I loved him. He was another one that they slept on, and there's a lot of these dark factions now, and it's really cool. Like, it's really cool, and I think they'd be a good feud for the Wyatts or the Street Trash or anybody. But I've always loved him. Like, he's one of my favorites. Going back to when he was Tommy End, like I've always been a big fan of his. So. He'll be over. It's not an if, it's a when.
Yeah. Because the other thing too is I think we'll see Adam Cole come over eventually too. Now that Triple H is in charge, because that's one of his guys. And I know a lot of people have said he probably would have never left if he knew Vince was going to be gone. And another one too is Britt Baker, because they're officially split now, and she came down with a random sickness, and we haven't seen her on AEW television since then. And I think she's on her way out too.
Yeah, Undisputed Era, massively misused faction. Should have been called up and not even given the opportunity to go to AEW. Like, they were fantastic, and they could have been a force on the main roster and just fumbled, because Adam Cole's he's not a big guy, and it's not Vince's thing.
Yeah, not what did he say in the documentary? It's so the figure of these men or something like that, because he wanted to start the bodybuilding federation and all that stuff.
Yep. Vince, it's so bad.
I love Vince, but just some of the shit, man, I'm like, I can't get with you on that.
I know, it's some things, like respect for what you've done in the industry, but also like some of your booking has sucked so bad.
Yeah. As I said, I compare him to Bill Belichick. He lost the fastball at the end, and he should have given up the control a long time ago.
I guess you saw our how LSU gave us a walloping.
Yeah, no, I know. I had some money on Arkansas money line. Trust me, I know.
I was very. It was a very surprising game for me. I was not happy about that. It was not a good night. And then the Hawkeyes as well. My old lady's from Iowa, so we watched the Hawkeyes. Just rough week.
Yeah, I know. The Hawkeyes beat Michigan State, though, right?
The last one on my DVR.
Or no, Michigan State beat them. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's what it
Michigan State was the last.
Yeah.
Was the last one. Yeah. So our teams, not. But I mean, Arkansas getting this many wins early, like against big teams, is exciting enough, and kind of starting over again as a team. So I think that it's reassuring to a lot of fans, because we usually don't have a good vibe or that good feeling with us. So it's nice to have that again, to have hope.
Hey, they're fighting for the coach's job over there, I've heard. So that's a big reason why they've got some of these upsets. And I'm sure you're glad to see Jefferson gone. He sucks at UCF now. It's the same thing. I remember watching one game last year. It was like 7-3 they lost. I'm like, come on, dude. Are we serious?
I know Jason's not here, but I know he's probably happy about the Yankees.
Yeah, no, definitely. I got the Dodgers. I'm not gonna lie, just because I don't see how the Yankees could win with that short porch and right. Those guys are Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. Those guys are gonna kill the ball out of that place.
Yeah. Yep. It's gonna be good. A lot of people are gonna put money on the Yankees, and a lot of people are gonna lose money on the Yankees.
Yeah, I like the overs. I think the overs are a great play for the World Series, because Dodgers pitching staff ain't all that good, and the Yankees, they can put up runs. Stanton has looked better than he has in 2-3 years.
It's definitely not how my bracket shook out this year. I didn't have either one of those teams in the end. Did not even. Nope.
Better than me. I had San Diego and Detroit, so.
I didn't have the Red Sox though, so
nah, hell no.
I never have them.
They won as many as they got. That was a minor miracle in itself.
Somebody made some good money on the Red Sox early this year. Like, somebody had a good year.
Yeah.
So, what do we have next? Okay, so we have Halloween Havoc this weekend.
Yep.
Let's see. I'll pull this up real quick. I had it just a second ago.
We're on Halloween Havoc. I like that we're getting an ambulance match. We haven't had one of those for a while.
I know. So Trick versus Ethan Page. Who's walking out the champion?
It's going to be Trick. We're not giving it back to Ethan so quick. You
Yeah,
can't see it.
About right. Tony D and Obafemi. Tony will probably retain, I would think. I think Oba's probably bound for the main picture, so my guess would be Tony retains.
Yeah, I think we could see, we could maybe even see some interference possibly too, like a disqualification, because I don't think you want to have Oba eat 2 pins. That's just personally my opinion. What do we think about Nikita Lyons possibly joining forces with him too after the attack on Adriana Rizzo when he handed her the jacket saying, "You forgot this."
Yep, I'm good with it. Anything Nikita wants to do, she can do.
Yeah, no, I think it's I think that's a good pair in the two of them.
The ambulance match was Andre Chase and Ridge Holland. I see Ridge walking out of that one.
I got Chase. I'm going to go with Andre Chase just because Ridge is just beating the crap out of the rest of Chase U, and I think they want to just give him a good moment and have him win. But I think if this was reality, a real match, I think Ridge would kill him. Yeah.
Roxanne and Cora versus Julia and Stephanie. I see Roxanne and Cora winning by DQ because I think they're going to have Delta attack Julia or Stephanie. That's just, I got a feeling about that.
So I could see that happening. Personally, myself, I'm going to go with Roxanne's eating that pin, and that will probably be by Stephanie. So because they've already burned, they haven't, because they can do the Julia match again. I shouldn't say they burned through it, but they already had it. So my guess is Stephanie eats a pin, or maybe I don't think we'll see a double pin where it's a triple threat. I think we've seen that too much this year. So I'm going to go with Stephanie getting the pin over Roxanne.
Now, this match is an interesting one. So Kalani versus Fallon versus JC Jane versus Jasmine Nix. I am 100% sure that she's going to lose the title. She's had it for a good chunk of time. But as far as the three women go, I'm not – I could see it going any way. Like, I don't know. Fallon Henley would probably be the logical choice, but that it doesn't always work out that way. So, I mean, I could see like a Jasmine Nix.
Well, they can only have one of them in the match, but I can't see them putting Jasmine in there because she's sort of the low-level competitor where JC and Fallon have been there longer. I think they should put it on Fallon too, but I wouldn't be surprised seeing this is like, as we talked earlier, the reinvention of Toxic Attraction, where they think of JC as the faction leader and put it on her, but I don't know. We thought Kalani's going to lose it in the past, and she hasn't.
She hasn't,
yeah. I really don't know which way this match is going to go, if you want my honest opinion.
I've been wanting Jada Parker to get it for a while, but it doesn't seem like it's going to go that way, so it's unfortunate.
She's going to be on the main roster soon. I'm telling you, her and Bronco and Lucia, I think they're all bound for the main roster come April.
Yep. And then we can talk about Crown Jewel later. So I think that's everything. Do you got anything before we call it a night?
No, not much really. We talked about KO. I didn't even know about the new lawsuits on Vince until you just mentioned that. I didn't even know that happened. I think it just popped up this afternoon because I was watching CNN at lunch and I heard it on there. So it's another big news story because all the other outlets picked it up. That was an interesting one. I'll be following that one pretty closely to see what happens there. So, Vince, I wonder if him and Linda definitely strategic though. I don't know because supposedly they're already split up, but I think this was a strategic move too because I know he's probably seen on the Harris campaign commercial they put Trump saying where he's friends with the billionaires and the last pictures with Vince McMahon. So my guess is they knew this was going to happen. So they put out this commercial like a week or two ago. So now they're going to try to tie the two of them together, which because most people outside of wrestling probably don't know that they're tied together other than from his appearances on The Apprentice.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Linda's major in the Trump administration. She was in the Small Business Administration.
At the convention this year.
She left and went to work for like a Trump PAC. She spoke at the convention. Like, imagine Vince gets appointed to the Trump cabinet. It'd be like a full reality show.
You know my joke I threw around back in April. I wasn't that far off, but
no,
I'm not going to say it because it's not too popular. But
there will be a Money in the Bank ladder match on the White House lawn, and Bernie Sanders is going to come cash in. Yep, just like the meme shows. Oh, I could do a whole thing.
What if we see Linda turn though on him, and it's really he's working? we see Linda babyface turn, and they have her and Trump bury him.
I'm surprised they're still married, but my guess is that they have a pretty good prenup, and she wouldn't get much. Would be my guess. So she's probably just dealing with all of it. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it sucks for her, but I don't know. I think I have so much perception about their relationship because I watched a lot of the on-screen stuff, and I'm like, I guess my mind just goes back to that. Outside, they could be like the most loving couple ever, but for some reason, I just flash back to all that storyline and the Stephanie baby thing and all this stuff, and like that's all I can think of now.
It looks like Shane was pretty uncomfortable with it too from the documentary.
Oh, you could tell.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see if that's actually like how it is in real life, and the rest of them are just like numb to it, and maybe he doesn't like it, but I don't know. And the other thing that I found is weird too is you see a lot of people speak out against him, but Trish Stratus, she never speaks out against him. It's like buddy. I wonder if this was a real life storyline that they brought on screen.
You never know. Like it's so crazy. On that subject, Shane McMahon and AEW. Mark Henry was talking about it recently. I don't know if you saw that. He said, I think that Shane going and being that force in AEW is a good idea. If you get paid $3 to $5 million to go in and tell everybody else what to do, you want to work the indies are calling, you do what I tell you or you're out of here. I'll bring somebody in here who can do your job just as good as you can. That's what you need. AEW don't have that. There are no teeth. There's no power. So it almost sounds like they're, from what they're saying, if that's rooted in any reality, like Shane is some kind of authority figure or something. So it's going to happen. Like, I'm pretty sure Shane's going to end up in AEW at some point. Like, I think that's inevitable.
So you don't think it's possible that they're just trying to work the fans into their own little shoot, thinking he's coming in just to get the ratings and he doesn't show up?
That would be interesting. Or he shows up as like they do a slow burn and he's like in the audience or something. And oh man, that would be wild. And then Vince is mad and it goes back to Triple H saying he's going to buy that pissant company just so he can fire you again. And
yeah, I'm curious because I love the storyline coming out at first. I didn't like how they put it so close to the Elite because that just fell flat on its face, that takeover angle they're doing this one. And I didn't.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to probably burn this out to per se World's End, where that, because that was like the big the mask reveal, the devil mask where Adam Cole was behind it. They're probably going to try to delay it till then. Now we're having to suffer through the Dark Order and just irrelevant teams going against them, and I don't know. Sort of. I'm really hoping they can play this right and don't mess it up, because I like the Elite angle when they first did, and it fell flat on its face, and I like this angle. Well, they're doing it now, but I'm starting to like it less by what I'm seeing.
And then TNA again this weekend. For those who aren't familiar, there are some crossovers. And Wendy Chu is going to be on there from WWE. So somebody coming through the disallowed entrance, and then Nick Nemeth ex WWE. So. But really only that one crossover. So it looks to be a pretty good card. If you haven't watched TNA before, card is solid. There's going to be some good matches that night. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good weekend. A lot of wrestling this weekend.
Quick question before we go off. Were you able to catch any of the Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling this weekend or not?
No.
Yeah. No, I guess Scott D'Amour's thing. I know they had some. I know Josh Alexander was there. They got Mauro Ranallo on commentary, but I'm gonna check it out at some point. I wasn't able to catch up yet because I've been a little busy the past week, but I'm definitely gonna look into it at some point. Looks like they got some good stuff going on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to add that to my list. Yeah. Oh, Gender. Oh, now I'm gonna have to watch.
No, that's what I'm saying. He got a lot of good names there, and we know Scott D'Amour is good at what he does. So
there's a Athena.
Yeah.
Okay, dang.
Eric Young, I believe, was there too. Ricochet.
Bully Ray, Gender, Josh Alexander. Dang, he's got a bunch of names in here. Mike Bailey, Jake something. Who else is on? Good Lord. Josh Alexander, Kylie Ray. I'm just going through some of these names that are on here, but wow.
So I'm saying it looked good. I just wasn't able to catch it. I know they flashed it quick on Dynamite last night, and I've heard it was great for what people watch. So I'm definitely going to be checking it out soon.
Kushida. Wow. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch this. All right. I'm gonna add that to my to-do list. Cool. Well, I guess if that's everything, I have something cooking, so I'm going to wrap up and call it a night. Thanks to everybody for being here. All the followers on the audio platforms, those tuning in for the video format, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. This weekend, of course, we got SmackDown tomorrow, TNA Bound for Glory Saturday, Halloween Havoc on Sunday. So strap yourselves in for some good wrestling. Have some fun, and we'll be back soon.